We're a nonprofit educational foundation. We teach kids, teens, young adults, and adults about success and money because most likely you didn't learn it in school or you weren't paying attention in school. Now, one of the things is we want to take you to a new school of thought. It's amazing what's happening around the world in communication. You know, the advent of the telephone was incredible, life-shattering. The advent of the iPhone, the advent of being able to be digitally connected through the internet, through satellites. This is the great equalizer that are helping people around the world in developing countries learn how to be able to make more money. It teaches everyone how to make more money. Now, just imagine this. I'm right here in my own little home. That's a pretty good size home. In my office, teaching a class. I don't have to go to a studio. I don't have to have the big cameras. I've got a setup here, and I can teach right from the comfort of my own office. And I'm reaching people. We've had people from 80 countries come to our site and go through our classes. Now, today, I'm going to introduce my techno wizards that have helped me make this dream a possibility of the Success and Money Foundation. I got Ethan Bird and Jake Erickson on with us. These are my techno wizards, and they're going to teach you about how to make more money using technology and the internet. There's a lot of different ways that you can do that, and we have all kinds of different classes and resources to help you get to your next level. So I'm going to turn the time over to my techno wizards that make all of this happen. Take it away, Ethan and Jake.
All right. Thanks, Tom. Okay, so like Tom said, we're going to be talking today about how to make more money online. So I don't know about you guys, but I've always wanted to have a way to make money online. We're going to jump into a few of the ways Jake and I have done it. And we're mainly going to focus on freelancing because that's where we have our experience. But there's just, you know, hundreds and hundreds of ways to make money online. So we'll just be talking about a few of them here. So in introduction, maybe Jake and I can both share a little bit of our story, like Tom said we would earlier, about both of us went to this school here, Dev Mountain, and we'll also maybe talk a little bit about YouTube University. These days, you don't really need a college education. You don't need to go to a college to learn the skills that you're going to need to be able to make more money. So some people, you need to go to a college if you're doing, you know, you're going to be a doctor. There's no way to get around that. You've got to go to school and learn those skills. But there are so many online skills that you can learn just by a simple Google search and then watching a few videos of people who put it up for free on how to do it, and you're going to be able to make that happen. So for me, that's part of my story. I was in college. I was going to school. I was almost 2 years in, and I realized, I just sat there for a second and realized I've got 2 more years of this. I'm not really that far. I don't know, you know, I was going for computer science. I said, I don't know anything more about computer science than I did when I started. I've got 2 more years. How far am I going to be? And will I even be able to get a job? So I didn't know what was going to happen. So I started looking into other options, and I ended up finding Dev Mountain here. And so I left school completely, jumped into Dev Mountain just to see if it would work. And it ended up leading me into finding this job with Tom, finding other jobs where I was able to apply the skills that I learned right away within a few weeks of learning them and start working. So now I'll pass it over to Jake.
Yeah. I have a pretty similar story to Ethan. So we've spent a lot of time together, and when he ended up going to Dev Mountain and having that experience, that was actually a super, super good experience, learning all this stuff, learning how to make websites, how to change websites, things like that. Lots of skills that we use with Tom every single day. I decided that it would be an awesome experience for me to try as well. So I did some research and was able to find a scholarship and be able to go for super, super cheap, and was able to go to school just from my house at home in Springville, Utah, and be able to go to that school for 16 weeks, and then ended up feeding me into this job with Ethan and Tom, and being able to work here for the last little while. I think it's a super amazing thing that we're able to use just the internet to learn how to do things. There's most of the time before I ask anyone for help with something, I give it a nice YouTube search, learn how to change the oil in my car, or learn how to do lots of things like that, as well as in the tech world, people love to share how to do stuff. It's one of the things that I've noticed more than anything else is that if there's a way to do it, someone's probably made a tutorial on it, because they like to share how they've solved problems, and most of the time they share it for free, which is awesome.
All right, so let's jump into a few of the reasons why making money online is so beneficial. So the first one here is low barriers to entry. So many opportunities here are going to require little to almost zero upfront investment. So for Jake and I paid a little bit more for school. I didn't get quite as good of a scholarship as he did, but you know, YouTube is free, and like Jake said, people are sharing everything online. So even getting the education is free. Oftentimes, you know, starting up a website or whatever it is that you're going to be doing online is going to be very cheap compared to the prices of starting a physical business, where you're going to need like to find an office space and hire employees and all of this stuff. You know, your office space is the internet, and it's going to be accessible to you with really, really little upfront costs.
The other benefit of using the internet to make money is flexibility. About, what was it, 2.5 months ago, I decided I wanted to move back down to Cedar City, which is about 2.5 hours away from my home, and I wanted to go take some classes in horse training. This is something that I have a passion for, but it's not something I really necessarily want to do for a career. But one of the incredible things was I could move down here without having to quit my job and look for a new job and be able to have that risk and all that stuff. I was able to continue with the same job I've had and be able to have it work around my schedule that I have for some of the classes I'm taking, and I'm able to still be able to have this job, be able to make money, and to from literally wherever I want. If I go on vacation, I can still hop on and do work, which is great.
Anywhere you have an internet connection, you're good to go. And for some jobs you can do online, you can even do it without an internet connection. Say you're a video editor, you know, something like that, where you can go edit your videos offline, and all you need is an internet connection at some point in the day to be able to keep working on your online side hustles or businesses or whatever it may be. So here we have you're going to have a lot wider range of opportunities. So Tom likes to say you're going to go fish in a bigger pond. If you're just fishing in this little tiny pond, there's no fish, you're trying to earn money and no one's really biting, maybe you need to switch ponds. Maybe you need to get into a bigger one where there's going to be more people willing to pay for what you are offering. So it really opens it up to anyone. You can be in the Philippines, like Tom says, it's a great equalizer. You know, I am in competition for any jobs. Anyone else in the world can go get these jobs as well. Same as me. You could be in the Philippines, you could be living in Africa, South America, Canada, wherever it is, Europe. That all the jobs are available, and you can access all the people in these other countries as well. So you're going to go from this, you know, this little, got a little muddy pond here, maybe there's a few fish in there, to this. I don't think this is really the kind of fish people are fishing for to eat. I think that's a koi pond, but you get the idea that you're going to go into a market where people are ready to buy and they're hungry and they want access to the skills that you're going to offer.
And another thing along that line, it's like standing around, instead of standing around a small little pond with 100 fishers around it, all trying to get the same 5 fish. It's like being able to go park in your own spot of the ocean and be able to fish for whatever's there. You don't have to be constantly competing with other people, because there's so many fish out there to go after. Another thing we wanted to talk about is freelancing. This is what we do. we work mainly on the web development side. We do a little bit of graphic design, a little bit of writing, but mostly we do web development. We help Tom develop his website. This is a skill that we've developed, and it's a skill that's readily available on the internet, and it has lots of need. And other things you can do photography, you can do video editing, you can help people with online organization, you can help with translation, as well as lots of different things. Fiverr is a really awesome website. I think we're talking about it on the next slide. Yep. It's an online job board where you can go on there, you can list your skills, and you can update it as you gain new skills, and then be able to find people to reach out to that are looking for people with your skill set and say, hey, I would like to help you, or they can reach out to you and say, hey, can you help me? Other good ways to be able to find people. There's lots of social media groups and things for people all over, as well as you find people to work with, you network with them, and and then you ask them for people and ask them for people, and you're able to get a large group of people that trust you, that are going to refer you to their friends and family to help them.
Yeah, so one of
and-
the biggest things I learned at Dev Mountain, probably actually by far the biggest thing that I learned while going to school at, and this is it's not a college, but it's a school that I paid to go to for a technical skill, which was to learn how to code. But I think the biggest skill I learned was how to Google and how to go to YouTube and learn something that you didn't understand. You know, our instructors at that school, they really drill it into you. You know, if you have a problem, go Google it, look into what you can find, test out the solutions, and then come back to us and let us know how it went, and they would help us kind of navigate the answers and figure it out for the first time. But after Dev Mountain, the skills that I learned there, I actually learned a completely different coding language. I don't even use it anymore. I use it maybe once every couple of weeks. I'll use it a little bit in our job here, but we're working on a completely different platform with Tom. But with the skill I learned of just being able to Google search, go to YouTube, I've been able to manage the website. We've been able to learn all these new skills all along the way. So that, I mean, any of these skills, if you wanted to learn like how to make money with graphic design, say you're a really good artist already, and you're like, how do I get into this online? Just go Google or search on YouTube. How do I make money with graphic design? How do I get started? There's going to be thousands of videos. The only real skill you need to learn is how to decipher which one of those videos is going to be the most helpful to you, and then just sticking with it and learning it and practicing as you go.
Yes, I have to agree with you. Being able to search things and to be able to read documents and things like that for coding is one of the most useful skills I learned at boot camp. Just learning how to, understand what things are saying and being able to figure them out without needing to ask somebody for every step along the way.
Yeah, so we have a few other ways to make money online. There's like we said before, there's going to be hundreds. This is just a few examples. You've got things like e-commerce, that's just selling things on the internet, using the internet to sell your physical products. So that's one way to get into a bigger pond. You might already have a product. All you need to learn is how to get people to see it online and how to ship it to them and accept their money. And you can be making more money and selling to more people who want your product. Another way would be affiliate marketing. This is basically selling other people's products for them, and you get a percentage or a fee based off that. You can do this through Amazon, all sorts of markets online, even certain websites that people pay for. They'll give you a referral bonus for signing other people up, things like that. So there's tons of ways to make money here. Online tutoring, once you develop some skills, even if you had a skill like, say you lived in a Spanish-speaking country somewhere in South America, say you live in Argentina, but you learned English growing up, people in Argentina are going to be willing to learn English from a Spanish speaker. But you can also reach all these other markets in the world where other people speak Spanish, and you can offer English tutoring services online. Things like that, where you have a skill you can already offer to someone, but now you can just make that digital, offer it to way more people, and be able to have access to people also who have more money in other parts of the world. And then, of course, we've got online investments, which we've been learning with the Success and Money Foundation, learning how to invest. A lot of that is run online. There's some things with cryptocurrency you can learn to do. So there's all sorts of ways. And I think all you have to do is pick one that really interests you, dive into it, Google it, go on YouTube University, learn what you can, and you're going to be able to make money. You just have to find the right market. And I think that's everything we have. So we can turn it back to you, Tom, unless you have something else to add, Jake.
No, that's perfect.
All right, back to you.
Okay, the one thing that is wonderful is that there's all kinds of information like on YouTube and other areas. The negative to it, though, is there's almost too much and you don't know what the really good stuff is. And so that's one of the reasons why we created the Success and Money Foundation, is that the classes that we put on there, we've studied, I'm a big believer in education. I'm still watching videos hours and hours and hours every day. Warren Buffett reads books and reads articles. I'm watching videos. That's what I do. And so that's the other piece, is that the reason the foundation was created is that we've taken the best that we like, that we think is the best, and put that into systems that you can be able to use. So again, this is Tom Painter. There's a couple great resources that you can use. Of course, simply go to successandmoneyfoundation.org, click on the courses tab, and then click on STEM. That's science, technology, engineering, and math, which is really designed for the next part in communications and the internet. And you can also, once you go through all that, of course, we're going to be adding more classes to that, but you can also go to another site that we really like, which is code, CODE.org, which goes into even more depth into a bunch of these classes. Then, of course, you can pay and go to a class that's very systematic. The whole goal is to get you a job that you can make more money. And what these guys love to do is they can freelance. I mean, they get to do this from anywhere, and which works out perfect for all of us. So this has been Tom Painter. Thanks you so much for watching, and go make some extra money. Remember, that's step number one. You've got to learn how to make more money. Whatever you're doing, the countries of the world can't pay their bills, and so they're inflating it. It's more expensive to live. You have to learn how to make more money, and then you have to learn how to get that money working for you. So this is Tom Painter. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to come back in our next segment, and we're going to be talking about something that's very dear to my heart, which is real estate. All of you need to own real estate. It's just part of what you do, and the foundation was funded. We put $3 million into the foundation. The majority of that came from real estate, on real estate that I had bought decades earlier that had gone up, eight times itself. And so that's why we want to talk about real estate, because that's definitely part of your portfolio that you need to be involved in. This is Tom Painter with Ethan and Jake. Thank you so much for watching.